Alright guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Customs. We're almost finished with the studio. Got the floor down. The other day my brother came down and helped me. We did some self-leveling. And then after that dried for 24 hours, I was able to start putting all these tiles down. So we're getting there. As you can see, everything's pretty much a mess. But a little bit more trimming, put on all the molding stuff, and we'll be ready to go. So been busting my ass getting this stuff done, so hopefully we'll be up and running in another day or two. Just gotta finish up the trim on the door, finish the trim around the walls, and then start bringing everything in. So we'll be back once it's all put together. Alright guys, so moving everything into the studio little by little. What I did is, once the floor was done yesterday, what I went is I got some clear coat stuff just to kind of do the floor protectant. So what I did is I did about 3 or 4 coats onto the floor. So I figured while everything was out of the studio, I might as well do some nice floor polishing on it while I can. And you know, as you can see, got the molding up around the door. I got to paint all that. But we're getting everything into the studio. So right here, this is just canvas I've had piled, you know, before. So what I do is I like to have canvas on my airbrush table. I'll kind of go over all that once it's all put together. But I got all these big things in myself, as you can see. What I did is I used that carpet that's over on the floor right there, and I kind of slid everything. So that's the cool thing about this floor now is, since I'm always getting big boxes with the carpet, I'm always having to lift up the box. But now I'll be able to slide everything all around the floor. One of the main things that I need to get though is I got to get a big running mat for underneath the desk here that'll come all the way over here underneath the airbrush table, so this way I don't splatter paint all over the new floor. I know I'm going to splatter paint on there, but the good thing about this floor is you can strip the floor easily and then polish it, so that's why I did this. So I'm going to get everything into the studio, and then we'll come back. I'll show you the finished studio. And then I'll explain how I work with the table, so this gives you guys an inside view. It's nothing spectacular. Like I always tell people, you gotta live within your means, and you know, I was lucky enough to get this house that I could build a studio, and I'm doing what I can. But just gives you the setup, and then over in here, this closet. Like I said before, I didn't have enough gray tiles, so I just went over to Home Depot and I put, you know, whatever was on sale. There was a box for $8, so I just figured, you know what, it's the closet, it doesn't really matter. But this closet right here, I put all my collectible boxes in, so this is the only place I can really store them, and it's pretty good. So, you know, that's where we're at now. So let me keep getting everything in. We'll come back, we'll show you the finished studio with all the tools and everything's all set up, and I'll explain exactly how I work. Alright guys, so I am all done getting everything back into the studio. So today is the last day, probably all I need to organize everything. So I'm slowly putting everything back into where it was and just getting everything organized. So we'll kind of go over all the stuff. So like I said, I got this door installed. Now I got a nice good clean door into the studio, and it works out pretty good. So this way I don't have to worry about, you know, just fumes going in the house, and everything's just separated. So like I said in the past, this is my storage closet for all my boxes for my collection that's in the house. So once everything's back in here and I close the door, I can pile up all the commission boxes that are going to be piled up over here. So they used to be piled over here, and like I said, this door was never here, it was just an opening. So now I can have a little bit more organization over here. This shelf right here in front of this window is kind of like my shipping station. You know, all the bubble wraps, tapes, and measuring and all that stuff over there. And this is a mess right now. I've just been throwing stuff over here, but this is where I have the ID decals, all my you know, A's, Magic Sculpt, little knickknacks, metal rods, rubber gloves, some sandpapers and stuff, saran wrap. You know, it's just all just stuff I got to organize. Then this is where I sculpt and paint. I mask, do detailing, all my other stuff that's up there. That's probably broken fingers, broken this, broken that, just in baggies. So this way when I sculpt stuff and I got to get onto it, I'm not losing the pieces, so they're all there. Regular computer, just playing music, movies during the day, just listening to stuff, as you can see. Chair that is probably, see, I even customized my chair to show you guys. I've had this since probably 2008. These rubber pieces were coming apart, so I wrapped it with some old bed sheets, and then I put fake leather stuff around it. I'm probably going to break my head on the floor one day because this piece is not working anymore, so I need a new chair. That's going to come off. But like I said, I've customized a lot of stuff, even chairs. So, and then this shelf right here is where I throw a lot of like little statues, maybe 1/6 statues, resin kits. This is kind of like the little organized shelf for the small parts. This right here is the bigger shelf for the bigger 1/4 statues. This is when all the stuff that I customize and sculpt go on here. The bottom shelf is all my stuff though. I don't put any of the paint stuff up here. But now that I have more room on the floor and stuff, all the bigger items that just can't fit on the shelf are going to have to sit on the floor. That's kind of what I do. This shelf here is where I throw all my primers and paints and all my just random parts. I haven't pulled them all out of the garage yet. I'll get there soon. As you can see, I put them in little Tupperware things. So I got all these parts and stuff. Always keep your primers and paints and spray cans and inside room temperature all year long. You don't want to leave them in the garage. You don't want to leave them outside. In extreme cold and extreme heat, they will get messed up on you, and that's one thing you don't want to do. So I always just grab my item that I need to prime or paint up, and I go into the garage and they do it. Except I'm not opening the garage door because it's a mess in there right now. So this right here is a Besta shelf a friend that was getting rid of when he was moving. My other friend brought it down for me. So when I'm painting stuff here in the paint studio and then I'm done with it, I put it in here to dry and I keep all the dust out. So this is what I use this Besta for. So all my paint up items go in there, which is easier now. Because you don't want to leave anything painting up over here and dust getting on it. Just some random boxes, and then the airbrush unit right here. This stuff right here is just storage bins. Like I keep all my paints and primer stuff in there that are still new and fresh that haven't popped out yet. Airbrush compressor. Just cleaning, organizing, and then all my paints. So there you go. That's pretty much the studio. Give you guys a better look of how it works. So it's once I get this big mat for the floor, I'm gonna get one of those long, hardwood floor clear mats that you see in like offices, but they have big ones that can go like 108 inches that'll go all the way around there, and it's wide. So what I like to do is I like to sculpt, and then when I have to paint, I could just kind of roll over and put it over here and airbrush, and then kind of roll back. So it's that's the way I kind of wanted to set up, where I can kind of just walk back and forth to the stations. And that's pretty much it. So pretty much happy with the way it came out. It's going to be way better now, just cleaner wise. There's only one downfall, I guess, with this floor compared to carpet, is that if I drop something, it'll smash or it'll chip the floor. But this is just way better, just clean wise, because now I could kind of just get the Swifter or the vacuum cleaner, just kind of suck up all the dust now without it seeping into the carpet. So there you go. That is the studio back up and running. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back with more videos.